In 1988 was released a very special game. Strange to some, fascinating to others, but clearly innovative and ahead of its time in many ways. A reviewer called it a completely unique landmark in computer gaming history. It was a game about alien worlds, but its unusual concept and revolutionary design made it itself look like a UFO coming from nowhere in the landscape of video games at this time. Its name was Captain Blood, and it was soon to become a mega hit. In France, its origin country, it became legendary. Captain Blood was created by the small but talented French team of Era Informatique. Since the company was soon relabeled Exos, you can get the game under both these labels. As you can see, here are the Atari ST versions, and here are the Amstrad CPC ones. The game was first released on the Atari ST and later adopted for the C64, Macintosh, Amiga, Apple II GS, IBM PC, ZX Spectrum, Amstrad CPC, and Thomson machines. The ST version was the only one to include the full set of alien language sounds. At first, players were put off by the unusual interface and logic of the game, which were rather difficult to grasp. But when they managed to dive into it, the magic began to take effect. Basically, Captain Blood must track down each of his 5 clones throughout the Hydra Galaxy, a huge universe populated by 32,000 procedural planets with different races of aliens. Blood must travel to different planets and speak to aliens to gain their trust, so they can orient him to other ones, and so on until he is ultimately able to gather clues concerning his clone's whereabouts. Captain Blood commands the Ark, a biological ship that has the capability to hyperspace to other planets or destroy them. The planet design is based on fractals and is randomly generated from one game to another, so you're certain to never look at the same one. Planets are thus extremely various, in color as well as in pattern, and often look very realistic. From his Ark, Blood can launch a probe, called Orcs, onto planet surfaces. You then take control of its navigation over a fractal, fast-moving landscape. This part of the game is the only real action, but it's worth it. The fractal landscape is beautifully designed and benefits from incredibly smooth animations on every computer the game was adapted to. It's of course different from one planet to the other, and since planets are always new, so is their landscape. Flying over a planet, you can control the speed and altitude of the orcs. If one of these 2 parameters remains too high for too long a time, your orcs disintegrates. The horizontal arrows that come close to each other reflect this dangerous situation. You must adjust altitude and speed to avoid overheating, but also to stay afloat over the landscape and its treacherous spurs. If your orcs bangs itself too many times against them, it ends up destroyed. Each planet has a canyon that you must find and follow. If you successfully find your way through, you eventually reach the alien that sometimes awaits you at the end of the valley. But many planets are deserted. That's why it's important to navigate only to those you have sure coordinates for. Once you meet an alien, the Upcom interface appears so that you may talk to each other and exchange information and advice. This interface consists of around 150 icons, each representing a different word or concept. As each alien race speaks its own language and reacts differently, you must learn to negotiate using the upcom in a way that suits each race. The first creature you encounter is an Iswal, a pleasant, wacky alien type that will easily reveal you the coordinates of one or several other planets to visit. You'll need to write down these coordinates so as to input them in the galaxy map screen and navigate from one planet to another. Some creatures are friendly, others are hostile. They range from the seductive ondoyant that will tell sweet words and ask for your protection, to the aggressive cruelus that will shower you with insults. Topics are varied, but there's always a chance to obtain through conversation the coordinates of important planets to visit, and in the end, to find your hiding clones. But time is of the essence, and you can't afford wandering endlessly through the galaxy. As time wore on and Captain Blood's physical condition deteriorates, his hand begins shaking more and more. And since this is used as the mouse cursor, it makes the game more and more difficult to control. Disintegrating a clone that you find would temporarily relieve the symptoms. Captain Blood is a long-term game, but the vastness of the world to explore could put off many players because of the repetitive pattern, which is always the same: planet, navigation, conversation. Only the most tenacious will eventually be able to find all clones and to teleport Torka, the beautiful ondoyant, on board the Ark to become Blood's companion. The whole game fit on 2 floppy disks only, which was a prowess given the technical constraints back then. Info Magazine of January 1989 gave the game 5 out of 5 stars, remarking, "Captain Blood is a marvelously alien experience. The graphics and sound are first-rate. The more we played, the more we wanted to continue playing, if only to meet more aliens. There is a fully realized universe here that's easy to become completely immersed in." Captain Blood sold more than 100,000 copies worldwide, which is really not bad for a computer game as opposed to console. Back in 1988, discovering this game was an incredibly exciting experience for me. I was mesmerized by its futuristic features and its awesome interface that seemed years ahead of other games. Digitized speech, very rare at this time, fractal pictures, and intriguing scenario all combined together to form a very special set. I was convinced this was the most beautiful game ever, and indeed, it remained my favorite for a long time. It was like a kind of benchmark where each computer showed what it was capable of. To me, it was a display of the best of the Atari ST's capabilities, which few games matched even years after. But to anyone, whether he liked it or not, the fact remained that Captain Blood was an original and groundbreaking game. What do you think? Just write your thoughts in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure you've subscribed. See you soon, and in the meantime, have nice retro dreams.